props to the devs. They did sick work on this map. And so it's a great one to kick off this series on best of 5 format. So we're looking for the first team to win 3, and we're going to be kicking things off on Control, on Busan. And yes, we do get to see more of a variety of strategies on this map. Some of the damage dealers get thrown in here. We've seen 3 DPS. We've seen all sorts of different plays. So it's going to be fun to see what these two teams have in store for us now.
You see 3 deep damage-dealing heroes. It's essentially has come down to there's a lot of Ana, some Tracer play comes in, you run a Hammond as well, and then a Sombra. So a lot of teams have been going with that mix-up in their composition, but let's just get right into it. London, I think, needs to start off quick. This team plays the best when they're playing loose, and we saw that evidence last year as they went into the playoffs very loose and took it by storm. So I think they need to come off to a quick start because conversely, they start off poorly, that could get in their heads a little bit. Like I said, I think this is a must-win match for the London Spitfire.
Well, I'm down with this opening strat if they stick to it, London. Yes, please. Let's see this actually go through. The Sombra, the Tracer, the Widow would be sick. And it's looking like they are... Nope, they're going to go for a last-minute change here. They're going to have the Pharah out on the damage as well. So we'll get some rockets flying high. There is quite a bit of high ground here to manipulate if you are a Pharah up in the skies. And so we'll see if Prophet can find something there. It looks like Washington just...
It's a great map for Widowmakers too, and we have a Widow on both sides of things. We'll see who gets the better of that one. Washington's going to take first control onto the point, at least stepping on it, putting some progress going. And Spitfire just going to give it up. They don't even want to fight that. Not a single shot fired in that exchange.
Just chilling out until the slam comes through. Jester, you didn't catch him though. Not going to work for him. He gets picked, but we lose Corey to Doshin. Doshin, though, not a guy, you can't sleep on him. On Zenyatta, you know, Jonak obviously gets a lot of talk, but Doshin is definitely one of the top Zenyatas in this league.
Definitely a good player. It was interesting that where the Justice are hanging out, it's kind of to prevent that ham and slam. Ham and slam will knock you up in the air, and then you want your damage dealers to finish them off, but they're sitting in that tiny little alcove there, not knocked up in the sky, not jumped into sightline. So they go for it again. Now some disruption comes from Gesture.
Yeah, well played on Gesture's part. Manages to pick him out. Put them out in the open. Nice stun there onto Prophet. He does manage to recall out right into the waiting arms of Corey. Corey's going to be in a bit of a tough spot, though, and Fury will be the one to find the kill. Both the Tracer and the Sombra, that is key when you're running this duo together. They need to work together to pick off these squishies. That's exactly what we saw here. So London right now, still trying to take the fight to him. 50% down the point for Washington Justice, though. It's on London now to try and figure it out.
London was a little bit split up, and Washington did a good job of identifying that. There was a trio of people to the right-hand side. They brought everybody over there, started eliminating threats, and now they're pushing them all the way back. It's been the Justice all the way in this first stage here on Busan, 70% and counting. London hasn't done a whole lot. There actually haven't been a whole lot of kills on either side. Only 4 deaths this whole map.
4 deaths, very low. Birdring going to go for a change of strategy here. We will get the Reaper in play. I mean, this was going into it, Hex. You know, a little bit of talk here, how this is a must-win for London. It's just, you know, Washington did not look so hot kicking off their first match in the league. If London go down to them, that's going to be huge. But we're at the beginning of this series, so London, plenty of time for them to catch up. A lot of changes in the heroes, though, which means that they aren't going to have many ults to work with. Janus going to find 2 kills to kick things off. Birdring and Nuss dead already. So what do they actually have to work with here, London? They do manage to come in, find the kills, 4 kills right there based off the EMP thrown in by Fury. And London in position to take advantage of it, but it's at 99% for Washington.
Well, Janus was on a different roster last year along with the coach for this Washington Justice team. And when they had to play London as part of the NYXL, they actually had a very good record against them. I believe they were about 500, 6-7, I think was their overall score against them. So Janus and Wizard, the coach, do know London well, so they should be familiar here. Janus has a Shatter ready to go.
And this is going to be the big high-impact ultimate. Doshin is holding on to his trance, though, so it's a question of where Doshin is going to be positioned. He's out of the angle right now. Janus wants to get on top of him, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. Rally used here by Otto to ferry them forward, and Prophet gets overwhelmed immediately. Great focus fire coming out here from Washington. That's a lot of passive healing and control that gets thrown out the window here for Spitfire.
Just going to slow walk onto the point, have Shatter ready to go at 99%. They're going to flip it over. Desperation time for London to get back on the point and touch. They've got the heroes to do it.
London looking so shaky right now. Trance going to get thrown in here by Doshin. Not going to be used to cancel out anything. The sound barrier thrown in by Phasix as well. So right now, Washington, a tough nut to crack, and Phasix is going to find the kill on Birdring somehow. We will lose Gesture as well, and this is looking great for the Justice. set to take it, although Prophet will be able to touch, delaying it just a little bit further, but that will be it, and the Justice taking the first point.
You said they looked a little bit shaky. I would say they looked a little bit sluggish, just slow and a little bit passive, but we'll see if they can bring something different on the next round of Busan after the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the short break, and we're going to get back into it here. London looking a little sluggish, a little uncoordinated going into this. Not really sure what they want to stick to. I think we saw Prophet change heroes 4 times on that first point. That's not allowing you to get up to ult. That's not allowing you to have those high-impact abilities. And so right now, London just looking a little lost as to how to deal with Washington or throwing at them. Washington going back to the core of the current meta. It's going to be that 3-3.
Well, London is running the composition a lot of teams are running on this stage. That 6 heroes up top has been what a lot of teams prefer. And right there, you see Bedosian get a nice opening kill onto Guido there. And they should be able to take point on this. What was so interesting about how London played last time, they didn't even touch the point or contest early on. It just seemed like a bad sign. And I know they're trying to set up a plan and positioning, but Washington seemed like they were ready for that plan, ready for that positioning.
Right now, Justice, clearly the name of the game for them is sticking together and forming that death ball. It's just going to roll in. Waiting to get back together with Guido. Guido is back into it now, and so we have all 6 alive for Washington, and they're going to start trying to work their way down to the point.
Oh, looks like a slow push here. You don't want to peek out and give sight lines to the Widowmaker. 1 click, and you can lose a support hero rather easily. That's why you see Guido just right in the back pocket of his Reinhardt.
Doesn't want to be moving. Now he's found a wall to hide behind. Of course, the wall disappears. He will survive just a little while longer, though. No worries there. Gesture with a little nudge, and we do get Samsam getting demeched here, so we no longer have the Big Mech Diva in play. Birdring doing great work right now, finding that damage, gets the body shot. That's not going to be enough to find the kill, however. And from on high here, plenty of angles for him to work with.
Especially when you're able to get the Diva out of mech. Now, who's ever going to be able to contest Birdring? You need mobile tanks generally to be able to get up there in this kind of composition. And without a Diva, he's going to be able to get around and zip to whatever angle he wants.
They're not the easiest position. Eventually, however, under pressure, and yes, Corey will find the kill on Birdring, but he loses half of his team in the process. Washington Justice getting pummeled here on the second point. Looking very good for him now, and they have a couple of ults coming online as well. We'll have the boost from Doshin, as well as the pulse bomb from Prophet. Looking to see if Prophet, he's shaking the rust off, gets to play Tracer again. Magical things happen, Hex.
One of the things we talk about in 3 tank, 3 support is how it does end up being snowball-y. So when they start getting these ultimates online, they're better ultimates generally than DPS ultimates are. Graviton and Earthshatter are simply better than pulse bomb.
Get it into it, pulse in, not going to find a target though. We have the sound barrier thrown in here. Washington Justice now looking to lock this down. 93% and counting for the London Spitfire, and Washington will succeed in flipping the point off the back of a couple of kills. And so Washington now the ones with the advantage, or at least the edge, and they did a decent job of holding on to ults. They'll have Shatter soon as well as Trance, and Samsam isn't too far away from his self-destruct either, so they will have tools here to make do so.
A nice finish, a late kill on a Bedosian means it's going to be even longer before the Spitfire at full fighting force. Some pressure on the point, but it's not going to matter. Diva gets back there. And I think Corey, we mentioned, was a bright spot for us. Hold on, huge EMP goes off.
What fantastic D-Matrix, though, coming through. Guido going to survive just a while longer thanks to his Diva's defense. And that's going to slow things down just a little bit here for London Spitfire. Good heals going out onto Samsam. He's going to throw in the self-destruct as well right on the point. Will clear it out, but Birdring does manage to kill off the baby Diva. So no Diva in play now for Washington Justice. Yanis decides to throw his Earthshatter in, though.
It's a great shot. Such a small window when the Diva self-destructs where she's vulnerable before she can call down a new mech. And Birdring starting to become the Birdring we knew last season.
There we go. On the Widow. This is what we expect to see from him, hitting shot after shot. And now they're going to find it difficult here, Washington Justice, to get outside onto the point. Yanis had to go for the Hammond, rolls his way back into the fight that much quicker, and now it's all about just contesting. 99% for London Spitfire. All they have to do is hold. Washington Justice need to touch the point. They're not going to do it in time. London Spitfire bringing it back, tying it up 1-1.
Who would have thought that London is a much better team when they get to run those highly mechanical, highly skilled kind of heroes? You get Prophet on his Tracer, Birdring on his Widow, shades of London in the past.
Crazy thought. And Fury doing a good job here on the Sombra as well. A couple of high-value EMPs coming through to really make the difference for his team. So we're going the distance on the first map in this series. It will be on the third point that it all gets settled. And who's going to take the lead? London now looking, like they're coming into their own. Perhaps just shaking it off a little bit, getting that adrenaline from being on the stage out of your system.
Yeah, because they looked just not like London. If you had different skins on or different uniforms on during that first stage, you would not have ever guessed that was the London Spitfire. Just very passive, not coordinating well. But now we're going to see how this final stage of Busan goes to see who takes the first map.
Just a lone hamster and a big tank. That's what's going on here for London. They're still focusing on the DPS, on the damage dealers. I like it. Washington Justice sticking to their guns. Corey is back on the Widow.
Well, they've got great scouting information. The Sombra is behind the entirety of the Washington Justice right now. Washington going to step outside the point. That's exactly what they were waiting for. Birdring finds his opportunity, takes down his opposing number.
There's the contest coming through at the last possible instant, delaying things further here for Washington Justice. Birdring, nobody there to challenge him, and so he gets to take shot after shot. There's the headshot. Will get the DMAC on Samsung. So now Birdring really just moving forward, looking for some of that close quarters combat. Not quite going to find that shot, though, and it's looking like the Washington Justice will be the first ones to pick up the point. And with the support there and Janice to hide behind, they're looking good.
Able to knock him off of the point there. First control, counting up now percentage-wise. Fury's behind them again. Again, this is scouting information. Birdring's always going to know where Corey is because they're going to have the Sombra to scout it. On the other side, there's a Brigida, so you have less info.
Solid start so far. London looking to find an opening. Not quite managing, however. Corey hanging around and back is going to get pressured here by Gesture. Has to back off, or at least get some support from his teammates, and Fazix will be Johnny on the spot there, watching out for his snipers back.
EMP is ready. I think they're going to try to set up the next fight based on this. You can EMP and Pulse Bomb, try to get a chunk of damage in. Now they're all grouped up. EMP comes off, grabs a bunch.
Ooh, beautiful. No D-Matrix there. No dodge on Samsung's part, so he's not going to be able to keep his team alive. And just like that, 2 big kills, 3 big kills coming through for the London Spitfire, and the Washington Justice now falling apart one after another. Do have Addo trying to put up a fight. Nearly gets the rally. He has that online for the next one. So Washington right now should be feeling fairly comfortable.
Birdring is just such a marvelous talent. He's hitting 50% of his scoped shots, 20% critical hit accuracy. 1 out of 5 shots is a headshot that puts so much damage on the other side. And I love his target selection. He's taking out the only things that can ever pressure him. First it was the Diva, and now you've got him taking out his opposing Widow.
Nice play with the mines right over the top. Gesture finding the first kill to kick things off. Looking for the follow-up as well. He got nanoed into that, it looks like, as well. Doshin able to get that off in time. We do have Guido trading it back, however, and Washington, despite it all, not throwing in the ults. So now they're the ones who have a significant advantage going into the next fight, and London Spitfire haven't even tied it up on percentage yet.
I want to keep an eye on the main tank, Giannis, see if he can get one of those shatters. We do see switches from the other side. London going into a tank-heavier composition. They're going to give up control until they get the pieces in place that they want. But now, with the late switches, you're always going to be behind on ultimate advantage.
They gave it up without forcing anything out of Washington. Now Washington still have all these ults online. There's going to be the angle. Janice getting in behind, looking for it, but the sound barrier comes out in time from Fazix. Will deny it. Guido gets immediately picked off by Prophet, though, and the kills coming through now for London. Despite it all, Washington just getting overwhelmed.
They made the right choice to switch up their composition. It seems they're still allowing Fury to run wild on this Sombra. Very nice plays from him. And now Washington used a couple of their ultimate abilities. They're going to have support ultimates, though, and at 80% generally on control, we think about that as one more fight. But London wants to hold close, maybe use some ultimates early, and then delay the capture if they lose and be able to come back. So they're trying to force something out by holding that far forward.
Straight onto the point, though. Washington getting boosted in. Self-destruct over the wall. Gonna find a target. Yep, Nuss can't get out of harm's way. Fazix is there. Fazix gets the kill on Reinhardt. Turns out, sizes and everything. Just moves on in. Birdring gonna get focused down. No more energy for him. And right now, Washington Justice have got control of the point. 10% away from a big win to kick off this series.
Yeah, Sansam is just looking for the Sombra in the back line. He knows that's the only way they'd be able to touch. But they're off of the Sombra anyway, have been. And now Last fight incoming, last chance for London to take this opening map.
Nice touch by Fury. Nick of time makes it. And now they're going to go ahead, straight in, streaming in one after another. Great focus fire coming through here, applying maximum pressure to Gesture. He will be able to back off in time, however. The rally thrown in by Prophet. But Guido's going to cancel that out with a trance of his own, trying to buy time for his teammates to get those support ultimates online. And now it's just a standoff. Who's going to crack first?
That's Birdwing's time to shine. He's going to get that grab on several words of follow-up there. It is not quite there. This is reminiscent of how London lost fights earlier. Just no follow-up on their big ultimates. Fury's going to actually toss it in and eats... Actually, Fury eats Corey's grab. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's big. Grab gets eaten for the Justice, so no big follow-up there. But Genesis still got his trance. But he's got the Shatter as well. Throws that out. Doesn't find a target. Doshin already had the trance going, so he doesn't care. He's keeping everybody topped up. Self-destruct thrown over the top, and it could find one. No, the shield is up for Janus. And this is just still the standoff between both of these teams, but London with that sound barrier looking to end this fight.
Got
Shatter.
such sustain. There's no one is dying anywhere on this. Birdwing's got another grab, the second into the fight. Gonna catch several again. Follow-up still not quite there. Transcendence able to keep him alive. And now finally someone dies, and it happens to be Prophet.
Ooh, the big wipeout. Washington, they held it for so long. The win is instant. And Washington Justice take the lead over the London Spitfire in this series. 1-0 the lead. We're taking a break, and when we come back, we'll find out, can the London Spitfire recover?
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back from the break, everybody. We're live here from Los Angeles in the Blizzard Arena. Washington have done it. They've got the strong start that they were looking for, but London now, I mean, the fear that they've got to be feeling, they're the team with something to lose. They are the champions from last season, and they are off to a very rough start this season, Hex.
They're one shot away from going down in flames in that Spitfire plane right now. I mean, that was looking rough. A lot of people didn't think Washington was very good, but I think it's very difficult with a small sample size, and they lost to NYXL, who are still a very, very solid team, so... But like I said, this is must-win for London, period, straight up. If you want to get in the stage playoffs, you can't start 0-3. Not with the schedule London has, not with the play that they're putting on display right now.
Despite all of their talent on this team. I mean, it's not like they're the team that went for big roster changes. They pretty much stayed the same. I mean, we're still seeing some of the big stars, Prophet, Birdring, Gesture. These guys are still in the mix. We're just not quite seeing them gel right now in this current situation in terms of strategy that the teams are using. Big, beefy targets, not a lot of mechanically demanding heroes that really these players shine on, the likes of Birdring. And there we go, already a sub coming through. We have Guard who's subbing in for Birdring. So could this be the change?
Well, I think Guard plays pretty well with this team, but I also think at this point it's just like, let's try something.
Yeah.
It may have been part of their plan, may have been part predetermined. You're playing map 2 no matter what. However, I think Birdring has not been playing very well on the Zarya, and I think at some point you have to make a change. You can't go down 0-3, period. So you have to start making swap outs. I think this is probably planned. Guard has, played well before, so.
Sure, it's just curious to see. I mean, I'm wondering right now the level from Birdring, because we did see last season, they had some issues where motivation issues, depression, etc. for Birdring, where he was struggling with the hours. I mean, it is very demanding to be a pro player in the Overwatch League.
He also had an injury, which didn't help with along those lines. But I mean, his Widow still looked very good when you can play Widow, but they got off of it pretty quick.
It's going to. I mean, it's probably just knowing when to go for the changes. First point was a disaster as far as London are concerned. They were swapping heroes in and out. Didn't really look like they knew what they wanted to stick with.
Right.
They're never getting those ults online, so they can never really take those big fights. Washington looked solid. Washington, however, just kind of sticking to their guns. It seems like this is our strategy. We're just sticking with our strategy. Everything's groovy.
Yeah.
Everybody stay together.
And Washington's always going to have a little bit of wiggle room from their fan base, etc. too. Like, hey, you guys just got in the league. Let's see how it goes. Let's go together. I mean, you're not the returning champions here. So we're going to head to Numbani next. And, it's tank-heavy map. We'll see. You're kind of forced to play the dive tanks on this map because of the high ground here, especially on first point. Yeah. Not necessarily the best Widow map either, especially on offense. So we'll see how it goes, but again, this was it's a nightmare scenario so far for London because they lost the first map. I mentioned this, a team that's, I think it's, I don't want to say fragile, but emotionally driven. When things start going well for them and they can play loose and fast and they're having fun, you saw it. It took them all the way to the championships. They weren't playing well going into the playoffs last year, and then they decided, you know what? It's been a good run. We've had a good time. Oh, we're winning games. Oh, this is fun. It's fun winning games. Took it all the way to the Barclays and won it all.
Yeah, Prophet's smile. That's what it's all about. That guy. He's just like, how does a guy who looks so harmless and sweet and nice just turn into such a monster in the server? I don't get it. Just killing everything.
Yeah, he's
beast.
He's something to behold. But right now, I mean, it's the entire team dynamic of London, and I fear for them if they do end up going 0-3. It's what do you do to turn it around?
This is the real question that the coaching staff right now have got to be asking themselves, and we'll see if our insiders can get any kind of insight into what's going on behind the lines there. But the coaches, I mean, the players, it's one thing, but you as the coach, you're trying to figure out how do I get the best out of my players. And right now, it's like we're seeing individual plays, but they need to start gelling as a unit here. Washington doing a better job of that with that death ball approach. I mean, it's very clear. Washington are just stick together. Everybody stay together and we'll be fine. We'll bear out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't look bad. It's just still hard to gauge. Is London playing poorly? Is Washington playing well? Is it a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B? But hey, we were talking all this gloom and doom about the London Spitfire, and it's not quite as gloomy as the weather usually is in London. They still have a chance to pull this one out. We're only going to map 2. Maybe they can bring it back together. And now you're bringing Guard in so that Prophet can move over to the Zarya. Interesting play here.
There we go. That's what I want to see. Is Prophet going to be feeling a bit more confident on the Zarya? The Zarya, once you get that high energy, you start melting everybody. And we have seen this as a bit of a trend. You get your Tracer player over to Zarya, tracking in terms of aim, kind of similar. So we'll see if he's got the power that it takes to control the LG. Are we getting into it, though? Yes, we are. London going to be starting off on the defense. Washington Justice going to be starting off on the offense. And it's looking like Washington are going to be sticking to their guns. Corey will be on the Zarya. No Widow play here to start things off on Numbani. But it will be the big beast.
Okay. Given what the offense wants to run, I'd imagine they're going to try to take the staircase right here. You don't want to walk up Broad Street and be wide open for any sort of incoming damage. Get free damage in. The first allied shield goes on Reinhardt, trying to build up that charge on Zarya. The damage done on the shield equates to damage Zarya can do in return.
There's a choke point. How are they going to get through? Just run right in. Why not? Massive cleave coming through here from Gesture, nearly halfway to his ultimate already. Just so much damage, and that is going to grind this push to a halt. Washington Justice rebuffed. They have to back off.
I thought this might be an adjustment that they make too, that you let Gesture run on his Winston, which I think has been very good for him in the past. Seems a little more comfortable with it. Gesture and Fury together on highly mobile, vertical, what we call dive tanks has been very good. And we've seen 3 tank, 3 support work with this kind of composition. It's just a variation. Philadelphia runs it very well. In fact, Philadelphia beat London with this composition.
And Gesture seen as one of the best Winstons in the league, so definitely going to be feeling it now. Washington Justice are going to be the ones left wondering, okay, what went wrong there? How do we figure this out? Because again, they're going to the same point by the looks of things, right back up onto the high ground here through the choke point. Giannis out front with the shield, Corey ready to back him up, and once again, round 2, charging straight in, and now you got an angry monkey on your hands. Gesture can just cut this team in half and knock him out of position. Yep, sure enough, Gesture going to be the one to kick things off with a kill on Giannis, but the focus fire right now from London Spitfire, they're just pummeling. Either it's going to be Guido or it's going to be Yanis. One or the other is going to die, and then the rest of the team follows.
A momentum-based composition indeed, because Gesture did so much cleave damage early on in the Winston, already had his Primal Rage up. It's a tough spot to push into Primal Rage, because if you're stuck in the stairwell, you're getting batted down the wall. If you push past the stairwell, you're getting batted off the edge. Well, third time's a charm, definition of insanity trying to go here as they try to build up some ultimate percentage. Corey is very close to Graviton.
There's a lot to deal with this grab, though. But, oh, he gets to eat. No, what? Samsung eats something.
Yeah, SZA ate a sound barrier? I think a little glitch in this matrix right there, though, as it showed up in our kill feed. Very strange. But right now, this is the rotation that Washington wants to make onto the point. They're going to take the low ground, force London down.
Sound barriers getting thrown in. London going to be tough ones to crack, but now they actually have managed to get onto the point. Washington Justice can group up together as a unit, and this is where they tend to shine. We saw it on the first map. Guard going to find the kill on Otto to kick things off. They need to trade this back quickly, and they are trying to focus down Guard on the London Spitfire, but he will survive for now. Corey just going in. Self-destruct combo. Point blank takes down Prophet, but the kills are coming through here for London as well. Does look like they might have to back off, though, or at least try to stall. Fury and Nuss trying to work together as a duo.
Oh, very nice spot out by Giannis there. He finds the lone Zenyatta. It was 3-3, but segmented off. And with that last kill, they will force London off the point, and the Washington Justice will prevail. It's a nice setup, a nice execution. They finally got through the top and then took the low ground away. There's not a whole lot that you can do from the high ground, especially if you knock the opposing Zarya off.
All right, now we begin the long approach here for Washington Justice. London looking to take the fight again early. Don't want to let there get to be too much progress here made by Justice. You fight him early so you can fight him again later if you happen to lose the fight, or you just go ahead and force him back and spawn camp him. We've seen it all here on this map. It's been one of the core since the beginning of the league. So Otto, from his perspective, going in for the stun. There you go. Gesture gets deleted right on through. And Washington now with nothing to stop him. They're trying to get a stagger. They're trying to follow up with another kill, but gotta remember, payload. Can't leave the payload alone. Get 3 bodies on it and get moving just that much faster.
Yeah, Otto, of course, a familiar Overwatch League veteran, came up with Shanghai Dragons last year as a late addition. So this Washington, D.C. roster is a nice mix of the old and the new, and it's just going to take them a moment to gel together. There's talent on this team.
Rally thrown in now by the man in question, Otto. Trying to get that armor up, but we will have a counter thrown in. Self-destruct finds nothing. Nuss is going to take down Corey, though. So once again, London Spitfire starting off strong. Not going to discount it, however, because the last time this happened, Washington were able to turn it around, but it's looked like they're split up, and London not willing to overextend, just going to go ahead and kick them back.
It's fine to retreat. I believe they got that point and 0 meters left to go. I thought I heard the horn, so they're just going to back up.
Which is odd. Yeah. How did that happen in all of that mix, seeing as how London did manage to contest? Focus has got to be on the payload at all times. Kills are great. Stats are nice. But that's just fluff compared to what you need to get done. Prophet kicks things off, melts Corey before he can get any energy up. And so Prophet, now you can see the number in the middle of the screen there. The higher that gets, the more damage Prophet deals.
The Shatter got blocked as well. And I wonder if it's just a matter of if Gesture is more comfortable with Prophet on his side as well, knowing he's going to get bubbles at the right time. So Prophet Zarya seems to have been a nice improvement over what we saw Birdring in his first couple matches. Remains to be seen. An interesting angle taken on approach by Washington here.
Straight on through, but there's the grab. Fury finds Phasix already. AoE healing not going to be in, and they are just going to get picked off one after another here on the Washington side. Corey does manage to back off at least a little while longer, but he will go down as well. And just like that, London Spitfire setting up a strong defense here on the second point. 2 minutes on the clock here for Washington.
Yeah, the Zarya matchup has so far gone in favor of Prophet. More average energy at 54% to 45%, and more Graviton Surge kills as well.
Oh, Corey now, he's alive. That means that he can use the grab. There it is, right into it. Self-destruct, straight over the top. Not going to find the angle, though. Yanis with the shield does manage to get in here into the thick of things once again. The Shatter gets thrown out. Doshin focused. Are they going to find the kill on him? Yes, he goes down. Addo there with the kill on him. And this is going to be setting it up now for the Justice. They've got that man advantage. Never mind.
Swings back the other way with a nice Graviton Surge. Again, Prophet just adding to his numbers. 4 kills come from that Graviton Surge. Now they're still holding yet again, despite both supports being stunned in the prior Earth Shatter. They only picked up one in a nice swing back here.
Well, I'm glad we get to see the London players right now, the perspective from them, because there's a lot of grins going around. Doshin and Guard. Doshin always looks happy. He always looks good. He seems to be a really positive player for the team. But Guard with a bit of a chuckle. Seems like London are starting to feel it now. 60 seconds on the clock for Washington, and they're changing it up. Wrapping around the building. Quick rotation coming through here from London Spitfire to get in position. And yep, sure enough, Gesture going to get that wall up in time. So now, once again, we go into the standoff.
And they can just play this very patiently, too. They can use their ultimates reactionarily. Knocked down, though. Gesture dies with Earth Shatter up. They wanted to use that. They're going to throw the rally in there, too. Justice with their last best chance here.
Great focus fire there from Washington. Managing to pick off Gesture before he can get into it. Trance is used, however, from Washington, so that's going to be keeping him healthy. Fury out of mech. Doshin dead as well. And this is big, but now you can't afford to lose, Washington. You've got 20 seconds to push it as far as you can, this payload. You got a long way to go.
It's a long way to go, but you know what makes the payload push a little easier is you got all those check marks on your side.
Yes.
Several ultimate abilities up for the Washington Justice. Tank ultimates, support ultimates, the only one missing Transcendence. So it's going to be a battle of ultimate efficiency going forward as they have to face off against Gesture and Prophet. Got their own abilities ready.
Looks like the rally is going to get thrown in as well. Corey, full energy, trying to find the opening here for the grab. It's going to be grab B, grab the D Matrix, though he's got to be careful. Does not want to get this fed, and that's going to cost him the hesitation, the delay with the trance thrown in from Bedosian. Everybody on Spitfire is surviving, and this is surely going to be a one fight for them. No hesitation on the Spitfire side, using all the ults. I do like the focus, however, from Sam. Looked like Guido was able to get in there as well, or Fazix, but it's not going to happen. They are gone. 2 points and some progress here for the Washington Justice on Numbani. We're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll find out what they're capable of on the defense. So all throughout that defense there for London Spitfire, they looked solid. They started strong. But every time right towards the end where it starts getting towards the finish line for Washington, they get all this progress, or they get the point. London somehow crack, and they aren't able to just get that hard lock going on the defense. So curious to see for London, are they starting to find themselves, or is there still a little bit of that weakness that we were wondering about going into this match?
It's just Prophet's old consistency, too, and I think it's not necessarily Birdring's fault. We've seen a lot of DPS players, damage dealing players, of a certain type called tracking aiming. It's kind of like a paintbrush. You're following something, and that's what Tracers have to do, and that's what Zarya has to do. The opposite end of things is Widowmaker players, what we call flick aim, where you're moving from one target to another target very quickly, which as Zarya, actually not very helpful.
No, you're trying to lead the grenades, and you're trying to, track with the beam, you're right. So that does play a bit more into Prophet's wheelhouse. We have seen him with a solid Zarya performance so far. Washington Justice, we can't be too happy about that. Well, I say that, but then again, they nearly managed to push that payload all the way to the third point. So all things considered, Justice should be looking all right.
Maybe a few mistakes at the end. I think if Soundberry comes out a little quicker, you're in better pace, but you got to forget about it and move on as a young team.
Well, I'm liking this from Guard already, just leaping into the back line, trying to cut it up here on Washington, and Washington just going to give ground. High ground now obtained. We did get a D-Make on Fury, though, so that's going to slow things down just a little bit for London. They don't have that D-Matrix to fall back on, and sure enough, because of that, Yenis going to go out leaping up to the top. A little bit of a poke, a little bit of a hello.
This is the kind of versatility Guard gives you. They're running 4 tanks and 2 supports here. That's why you're going to see Bedosian on the Moira. They simply need the healing output of it. No Bagrita in this mix.
Well, somehow we have a baby diva taking down a mech diva. Sansam, however, he's so quick to generate this ult, he's going to be right back into his mech, so no problems there. And the big kills coming through. The combo works out with Corey and Yanis working together. All the kills here for the Justice, and they slammed the door on London Spitfire. Not a single tick of progress picked up here for London.
Okay, Bedosian is going to get off of the Moira onto the Zenyatta because I think they understood there that no one was really dying with the 4 tanks. Tanks are great at absorbing damage and outputting damage with giant abilities, but not so much in a straight-up fight. Now, you've got a Zenyatta to add the Orb of Discord into the mix, which makes people take extra damage.
Exactly, so you can actually start to put some hurt on these big, beefy targets. They have so much health, 30% additional damage with the Discord Orb. That does make a difference. So let's see if Doshin's going to be able to capitalize, and if the Focus Fire will be there for London Spitfire to take advantage of that valuable ability. Already a little bit of a wrap here coming up, changing up the high ground positioning.
This is great because now you've got Prophet Zarya on the high ground, and you can use the alternate fire to just rain grenades from above. The beam tracking is really important to do a lot of sustained damage, but those things, when you're charged up, can hit like a truck.
Okay, now I think you've seen all the balconies, London. It's time to get in here. There we go, throwing in the grab to kick things off with this fight. Self-destruct going to get thrown in by Fury as well. Not going to find a target, though. Guido doesn't care. He's got the trance. He's in vuln while that ult is going. So London, they've got a presence on the point, but right now Washington are doing a very good job of just keeping a body on the point. Sansam is there to contest, and they're not really giving up any big kills. One tick nearly picked up, contested at the last second by Phasix, but it will go London's way. So one tick picked up, self-destruct thrown in, just a bit too far it seems, but the sound barrier was there, thrown in by Nuss to keep his teammates alive. And now the contest comes out for real here for Washington, and let's see, did they find somebody out of position? They throw themselves into the fight bodily, but the trance are going to go up for both Zenyatas, keeping their teammates alive.
Yeah, Giannis went in deep there knowing that he was going to do enough damage to get this Primal Rage off. Still no one dying, now just bashing people in the grab. And a nice eat on the Graviton of Prophet. Sansam has been the unsung hero. He's had a lot of big small plays, I'd call them.
Yeah, oh, that damage from Prophet, not going to get away, but Corey trades it, takes down Nuss. So, you're right, that is huge. That might have turned it here because now London, they've only got 40 seconds on the clock, and it's a long run back from spawn. They got a lot of ground to cover here, London, and it needs to be a perfect fight for them coming into it. Doshin's nearly got the trance, so they'll have that support ultimate online, and Jester's nearly got his shatter. That's a fight-changing ultimate. Can they tie the two together and find success here on point A, or Washington Justice going to take a 2-map lead over the defending champs of Overwatch League?
A nice little disruption play there from Giannis. He was hiding, then jumps up, gets the allied shield, goes in, but the first kill will go on to Giannis. Finds himself all alone, and look at the energy here from Prophet, just beaming down fools.
Melts them, and at the very end, it will be the Washington Justice getting overwhelmed. London Spitfire finds success eventually. 2.5 minutes on the clock now to see how far they can get this payload. Washington, though, shake it off. You did a great job. They don't have a whole lot of time here, London. He's done a great job so far. Now it's about just keeping focused, and you have quite a few ults coming online here for the next fight as well. So you could look to take that early and really just crank up the pressure on London.
That might be what the veteran leadership of this Washington team can bring. Recognize victories. Yeah, we lost the point, but it was a better defense than London, so recognize you're still ahead.
And you're still solid right now. Self-destruct. Thrown into the back, not going to find a target. Jester had his shield up, but the focus fire coming in. Addo going to be able to find the kill on Jester, so no Rhine to hide behind here for London. They're going to have to back off and wait for Jester to get back into this fight. And just like that, it turns. London, valuable time bleeding off the clock.
All the way back, there's another great stall ultimate available if they just want to send Giannis straight in there. Start knocking people around with Primal Rage. Corey's got a Graviton ready too.
Just like that, Giannis going to go leaping in. The focus fire, though, he nearly goes down. They're going to be able to melt him. Prophet not letting go of that one. Giannis gets punished for going in too deep. He's gone. And there it is, the opening that London were waiting so patiently for. Giannis provided the start, and they managed to get the finish. London will win this fight. And now we'll start seeing them actually get this payload a bit closer to that second point. 1 minute on the clock for them to win.
A full team killed, and that's such a big swing play because in Primal Rage, Winston immediately goes up to 1,000 HP.
Yeah.
When you're doing all that damage, that's charging your ultimates on the London Spitfire. That's 1,000 HP just donated into the ultimate bank of the Spitfire.
He even had the sound barrier. He even got sound barriered at the end, and they still melted through that. Brutal damage coming through here from London. But Prophet doing a good job of maintaining that energy. Needs to hop up to 100 here so he can really start melting them. Sensam going to have to back off. And Prophet, point blank. There's the grab right on through. Self-destruct coming in from Fury right over the top, and this time it works. Sound barrier and trance both go in, but they're a second too late.
This should be a one fight for the Spitfire, and they will get that second point, and thus an extension on their time bank. 1:45 on the clock remains. London's going to chase this down, see if they can get anyone late. They do just that. I'm going to put a couple people back onto the payload so that it starts making progress.
Yeah,
little yellow marker on our little line in the middle is where they got to go, or easier to follow, the big box on the ground.
The big box of victory. And Gesture, guess what he's doing? Guess what he's doing? Nobody knows that he's here. Oh, he could have just hung around, but it looks like they didn't want to commit to this Washington, perhaps because they didn't see him. They didn't know where he was going for. He was trying to go for the surprise shatter. Instead, it's going to be point blank. No subtlety here. Right through the front. Gesture hanging on, and he does get overwhelmed in the end. Sansam, with the help of his team, finding the kill, and once again, Gesture, the man to go down first here for London Spitfire with a minute on the clock for London.
That's really tough. That was through rally as well, so we'll see what they have going for him next. It's the same scenario. They've got an Earth Shatter. They've got a Graviton Surge. I kind of want to keep an eye on Sansam here, see if he can eat yet another Grav.
It's a hard life for these Rhine players, Hex. Always the center of attention, you know. At a party, that's great, you know, but in a game of Overwatch, that's not as pleasant. Gesture, and it's just getting run over. Prophet on the angle. We will have to self-destruct. The stun as well, but Prophet gets his bubble off in the nick of time. He barely survives it. Sound barrier thrown in by Phazix now to keep his teammates up. And right now, it's all about buying more time. 20 seconds on the clock for London. Shatter thrown in, not going to find anything. Trance cancel, well, just it baits the trance at least, but then that also leads to the kill. Corey going to take advantage of it, push forward and find Doshin.
A nice rotation by Guido to keep his own Zarya alive, and they find themselves fighting in a room. All the kills coming in favor of the Washington Justice. Only 3 alive here. Grav's going to clean up the last 2. It's just Prophet remaining.
And this is it. Washington will take the lead 2-0 over the London Spitfire, the defending champs from the first season of Overwatch, or the season 2018 of Overwatch League. Washington, they're 1 map away from a huge win for them.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
It has been all Washington so far as the Justice currently hold the 2-0 lead over the Spitfire. Now, if we're going off of what all the analysts have been saying, this is completely unexpected. Malik here with Zoe and Bryn at halftime. Guys, the defending champions right now are currently losing 2-0 to the team that everybody said was at the bottom of the pack.
Yep.
How are you feeling about this?
It's a little bit tragic, isn't it? You know, it's a story in 2 parts. in this case.
Unexpected, for sure. But yeah, tragic, I think, is the word of choice here.
Indeed. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump straight into the highlights, starting off with the first map. What did Washington do straight off the bat to get the advantage in this matchup?
So they played what they were used to, which is this, you know, triple tank, triple support comp, but they adapted pretty well. You can see Corey's actually playing a damage dealer hero. So this is a straight up adapting to what London are running. London are running this, heavy damage dealer again, the Hammond composition. The entire aim of this is to essentially get a pick up on the backline, but it just got turned around on them when Corey was on the damage dealer. It takes away a bit of the element of surprise from London. They can't quite get onto the backline as easily, and they did honestly a great job of essentially adapting, but playing what they knew and playing the triple tank, triple support composition, at least better than London. I'm not going to say well, because I'm not going to give them that much credit yet, but it was definitely better than London.
Right, and it looked like they didn't even play triple tank, triple support the entire first half anyway. They actually switched over to what they were comfortable in, right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
London's game plan throughout the entirety of the first map was basically try to kill Guido. And they bullet him well into his place. However, that's an easy one to figure out for Washington and actually turn it around on them. So, yeah.
But when it comes to Numbani as well, though, Malik, you see, as well, London, they have to play the triple tank, triple support here because they're weird little wacky compositions. They don't work on Numbani because it's just such typically this triple tank, triple support map. So when you see them going head-to-head against Washington Justice, and like I said, both these teams, they're not playing it to a particularly high level, but Washington are definitely playing it better than London. London looked lost on this composition.
Right. Well, there's been a lot of talk about the Zarya play, the Zarya matchup here, with Prophet now flexing on Zarya against Corey. How's that played out so far, Zoe?
I mean, it actually played out really well. Unfortunately, that didn't show in the score. But if we're looking at I gotta keep it real. But if we're looking at the average energy, for example, Prophet has been about 20% up through the entirety of that match. He also did a lot more hero damage, and all of that just leads you to believe that he had a better communication with his team and his bubbles. Unfortunately, they just couldn't quite finish it up. So Prophet can only do so much on his own.
Yeah, right. But it looks like it was a good adjustment because Birdring previously had been, playing a little bit of Zarya.
Yeah, definitely prefer Prophet on it or Fury on that Diva or on that Zarya. They look a lot stronger when they have that.
The weird thing is, though, this is like something that London have been struggling with in the previous season as well. Yeah. Birdring, pretty inconsistent player. They take him out, they put guard in, they look a lot better. But still, I mean, Prophet as well, I will say this, very underrated player throughout the entire last season. People didn't really speak about him.
Underrated? He was MVP. What are you talking about?
Underrated throughout the entire season, not until the end bit, though.
Right.
At the end bit, he popped off, one on the map. But at the same time, it's a good thing now that he's getting, the credit where it's due.
All right, well, Washington, they're one map away from pulling off a big upset. Will they be able to do it? We'll find out right after the break.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back from the break and the halftime show, everybody. We are live with what could be a huge upset. The Washington Justice are up 2-0 versus our defending champions from the season 2018. London Spitfire, they're on the ropes, Hex.
On the precipice of going 0-3 in the stage, which pretty much just puts them on the elimination because they haven't really shown that many signs of improvements. Washington, who knows if they're good or bad? Look, you start off the year as an expansion team. You have to face New York because they're a regional rival, right? And you go, you win a map against New York. Pretty decent. They look kind of bad in their other 3 maps, but you got one against New York. And now you've got the defending champions in London. So if you can come out of that mix at 1-1 and looking decent, high hopes then.
High hopes, and that's going to change a lot of minds going into it. It's going to be interesting to hear what the desk has to say. A quick adjustment. Josh is over in the UK pulling his hair out, wondering what's going on. But right now, they're treating the London, like a target practice. It's like a big, they're out of fuel on the tarmac, and it's not looking pretty. Horizon Lunar Colony is coming up next, though.
Well, I mentioned that the Washington Justice did win a map against the NYXL.
Which
that happened to be Horizon Lunar Colony, and they looked pretty good on it. So this is the map that Washington beat NYXL on. A team that people think is still at the very top of the heap. And the London's got their work cut out for them. This is back to the wall, nowhere else to go. You got to win Lunar Colony, then you have to win Rialto, and then you have to win a tiebreaker. London needs a 3-0 reverse sweep, otherwise they go 0-3 to begin the 2019 Overwatch League season.
Well, I'll throw London a bone here and say, well, at least they have some information to go off of, right? Because it's like, hey, okay, Washington, we saw them play this map before. This is what they did versus New York. This is what worked. How do we counter that, right? There's something for the coaches to work with, at least for London.
Yeah, game tape is always good to have. You've got some research. You know what Washington's going to do. The thing is, Washington didn't do anything you wouldn't expect. They ran 3 tanks. They ran 3 support. New York, on the other side of things, did try to crack it with a very damage-heavy composition. Did not quite work, so stakes couldn't be any higher for as early as we are in the season. Day 1 of week 2 of the Overwatch League, and London Spitfire trying to find themselves, I suppose.
Yeah. And I want whatever Brent is on right now, if he thinks that Prophet isn't getting the credit that is due to him.
Oh, he doesn't listen to us. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. Prophet, what more can you ask of a guy? He's just popping off right now, and it's just like season, last season all over again for Prophet. If you can count on somebody on London to do work, it's going to be Prophet. Now we need the rest of the team to stand up here and get something done. Guard is still in. We didn't have any subs in, so Birdring is going to be on the bench for this map. But it's all on the line now for London. Washington Justice starting on the attack, on the offense. Already trying to find their angle. And they are, it's good. You go out into the peace, space, the calm, center yourself, focus, breathe,
yes.
Hex, breathe.
This is when you have to get into golf mode. But on the 18th, and now we're back into the action!
Not quite there, London. By the way, they didn't go outside. A little bit of a juke coming in here from Washington, trying to throw London for a spin, but it's not going to quite work out. London are able to adapt. Washington, however, on the other side now, and they're just going to go ahead and take the fight up to the high ground.
That's a really cool rotation. I was worried when I saw Washington try the same thing 3 times on Numbani, but it seems like they've got a different plan for a lot of these maps. We've seen some really interesting angles that they're taking here. Still bloodless thus far as the dive comes in. Giannis goes a bit too far, and there's Prophet. Johnny on the spot. It's really difficult to try to fight this unless you see a low target that you can try to equalize things on. And at the same time, you don't want to give up the ghost just 5v6. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Washington continue to push, but I doubt we'd see a ton of ultimates come out from them. But Guido's just going to go ahead.
Guido's just going to go in, and there's the trance already used. And I was just about to say, hey, this is great. Trance is online a little bit earlier.
Well, they got Giannis back.
They got Giannis into it, and Corey finds a kill on Jester. Main tank dead for London Spitfire. Who do they have for the big soak? It doesn't look like many, and Nuts is out of it too. Washington now should be picking up this first point. Will there be a contestant time? It doesn't look like it. It looks like London want to back off.
Going back to that, when it was 5v6, they were backing out slowly, and then Giannis is likely on comms. Reinhardt is slightly mobile, can get the charge back in. So then they're able to stay alive, sustain with the ultimate, and then turn it around. Birdring's Prophet is going to throw in the Graviton.
They managed to capitalize on it, though. The focus fire was there, but great healing coming through here from the back line on Washington. They're able to keep their tank alive. And so they managed to weather the storm for now. Corey dropping dangerously low, though, and he will fall to Fury. Fights going on in the side. Fezix, and, well, this is just a cleanup now. Washington going to get run over. Hold on to your ults for the next fight. And London Spitfire will hold, but there's still 5.5 minutes on the clock.
That is what happened with Washington, though. They held on to their ultimates for the next fight. The self-destruct didn't quite hit there, but that can be a big boomer bust. No pun intended. Well, pun intended. That's my job.
Hey.
Anyway, but they're able to hold on. Their economy is in a much better position. They've got 3 support ultimates up, and Giannis is going to have Earth Shatter. Washington losing that fight ends up being good for them.
That's exactly it. We're seeing some real discipline coming out from Washington. Fazix is going to fall here, so once again, we'll just kind of slow things down. This is where you really just want to back off and make sure that you extend your lead. Don't give London the chance to get their ults online now.
Yeah,
Don't let them do any damage. Just hide and wait.
But now they do give them the chance to get the ultimates online. The support ultimates are both going to be up for the London Spitfire now. Seems like Washington's going to poke through. They're still going to have a small advantage. They're going to have the tank ultimate advantage.
Oh, rally used by Addo. He goes charging straight in, looking for the stun, and he's going to get it. Gesture is gone. Self-destruct thrown in by Fury. Finds no targets here. And there's the big shatter. Can they get the follow-up? Grab gets thrown in. That's going to be a dead Prophet. Janice is there to smush him against the wall. And Fury ejected from his mech. He's out of it. Great progress being made here by the Washington Justice. 2 ticks and nearly a third as well. Nobody here to contest for London. Look at him. Janice doesn't even know. He's just shocked. Like, oh, we won. We won. We did that. Okay. Yes. Hooray for you. We're taking a break, and when we come back, we'll see what the London Spitfire are capable of. London Spitfire are struggling in this series right now. 2 points picked up for Washington. You can hear the engine sputtering on London's side, but turns out Ed Hardy's behind the wheel, and there's still a chance. There's still a chance. They're not out of this fight yet.
They're not. We mentioned game tape coming into this, and I think if London has done their homework, they know what not to do for sure. It's not what New York did and throw, you know, a Pharah at it and a Tracer and a lot of different things at this defense, because Washington was able to hold pretty strong on first against such an attack. So I do believe we will be seeing this composition that's loaded up for London on the top of the screen. We're going to see 3-3 against 3-3. But so far, what I like about this Washington squad is that you could call a big play from almost anybody. Otto's had plays. Fazix has been there. Guido, I probably saved them on Numbani. Corey's been solid. Giannis has been great. Sansam, eating stuff. It's been a team effort.
It sounds like he's like a hungry
Well,
hippo
I mean, you know
or
what I mean.
something,
In the context of Overwatch.
Somebody stop this man.
Hungry
Make up their
Sansam.
cholesterol. I mean, this guy. Don't stop him. Let him go to work. He's got the B Matrix up. He's got the mechan going. And they are actually taking a bit of a forward position here on Justice's side. So I like this. A change. Not going to get London get comfortable over here. Notion dropping down to half HP. He will get topped up again. Although it did look like Fazix wanted to kind of go in for the boop. Not quite going to find it. And so far, London bleeding valuable time off the clock. That's a minute that is gone already. And they are nowhere near.
This is just really interesting position from Washington. They've got people spread out all over the place, and then they're just trying to find a target to collapse on. They find guard, and that is a collapse indeed. They're going to force them out to the moon. We'll see if they follow right up that door or wait for them up top. But with 2 kills, now it's just time to clean this up and make sure you don't lose anybody.
This is like, this is unfair. You have a shield to hide behind. Guido's like, yeah, well, I'll deal with it.
It's a pretty helpless feeling.
You're dead. And Nuss is dead too. So, London, man, struggle is real right now. All aboard the bus. 2.5 minutes on the clock for them, and Washington Justice have got the ults coming online. Fazix will have the sound barrier for the next fight. Trance on Guido as well. And the rally. I mean, these guys are so good about their ult management. They've nearly got a 6-pack.
They've just got all the angles covered, and it's an interesting way to play a 3-support, 3-tank composition, is to all hide out and then find where you're going to meet up in the middle. Now they're all forced to the low ground here. Now a full-on team rotation as they back up the stairs. Now fight onto high ground. Fight for high ground.
Yeah, there we go. Just go for the wrap. And now they're going to be able to contest on the point as well. Giannis not overextending. He's still got the support. Corey's here to give him a bubble if he needs it as well. And there's the shatter. Point blank. Get wrecked! Straight into it. Giannis trying to find him, but he's not quite going to manage. The self-destruct right over the top, but the sound barrier perfectly timed from Nusk keeps his teammates alive. Fury trying to trade it right on back, but that's not going to work either. Giannis, in the meantime, in all that chaos, his teammates get backed into the corner, and he's not going to survive. London have a real chance now to pick up the first point.
And Washington Justice used every single ultimate ability that they had. The cupboard is barren now. Going to try to fight this off. Gesture's going to try to use his slam. Prophet cleans up Corey. It does seem like hope for first point defense dwindling away for the Washington Justice.
Already, though, doing an excellent job in terms of time. They will get all the kills. There's the cleanup. But London Spitfire only picked this point up with pretty much a minute on the clock. They're going to have 5 minutes.
You get a bunch of time added on Horizon Lunar Colony. Apparently the time and space works differently out there on the moon. And now you're in real big danger of London Spitfire running over you because they're going to have ultimates online. Use them if you got them. Popped right away the rally, but a nice opening kill for the Justice. 2 kills, that's pretty much a locked up defense.
Listen, that's what you got to deal with. If you're going to try and fully commit to that kill on auto, you cut yourself off. Looked like Gesture and Prophet got a little ahead of themselves there up behind the truck, and they were cutting their line of sight to their healers.
What a swing, too. Guard used the rally as soon as he had it, came up and wanted to use it. But with all the kills on the defense for the Washington Justice, they've just rebuilt their economy entirely. We've gone from industrial to digital.
It was pretty clean at the end of the first half. It was, 8 kills for Washington Justice, 7 for London. Now we're starting to see a bit of a gap. 17 for Washington, 13 for London. So right now Washington are looking good. And once again with the ults, look at this, Hex. 5 of them, nearly 6. They've got everything they need here to snuff this offense.
I just really love where everyone is being positioned here. They've got people all over the place. Every angle is covered, and then they rotate when they need to, following the lead of their main tank. Giannis is always in the right spot he needs to be so far.
Now the focus is going to come in here on Gesture. Corey is kind of wishing that, yep, there we go. A little bit more energy. Now he's going to start hurting. Prophet dropping so low. The bubble is there, and Prophet point blank. Corey's going to throw in the grab. It gets counter-grabbed as well. Everybody in for the fiesta, and they all survive. No kills, although as I say that, Sansam will go down. Otto's still somehow surviving in this chaos as well. He's got the rally going online. Giannis goes down to this, though, and that's not going to help things here for the Justice. One at a time, they're getting picked. Sansam going to go for the change. No Diva in play. It's going to be the Reaper.
Otto had to get on there. You need Reaper now to get back to the point using Wraith Form and hopefully get a kill with the burst damage he's able to output with Hellfire shotguns. Not going to be the case. A last-second charge from Giannis comes in, is snuffed out. London Spitfire, signs of life, finally.
There it is, tied up as we go into the break. Back into the thick of it, and already London, they do manage to turn it around at the end there, Hex. I was talking about kills. They did manage to find 20, so they have taken the lead there on that statistic, but right now the big one that they're after is a W. They desperately need a fight that's going to go their way with everything on the line here for London.
And still 50 seconds advantage in the time bank for the Washington DC Justice, and that's a big deal on Horizon Lunar Colony. The Washington Justice have showed very good prowess on first point, and you generally want to budget out about a minute per attempt at first. So one whole more attempt when Washington has to flip to the other side.
Now this is so good because now it's because London finished with less time. They're the ones who have to start on the offense. We saw how good the defense was for Justice first time around. Guido dropping a little low, but he'll be fine. Gonna get topped up. Giannis needs to be careful not to get picked off, and it's looking like London straight onto the high ground this time around. They're going to manage to evade that aggressive hold on Washington's side, although Washington weren't pushed up just as far last time.
I think they've adjusted to the fact of how Washington positions. Now they're just going to drop down to the point. You've got Prophet alone on the high ground, just chunking and damage Azaria. And the supports are going to pick up Giannis first. That is a brutal first loss for the Justice defense.
Yeah, excellent work from London. They saw that Giannis was slightly off to the right. There's a chance to cut the team in half and force him out the doorway. They did exactly that, London, and they were able to overwhelm the defense quickly with 2 minutes on the clock now. London are going to pick up the first point. They're much better performance from them.
They adjusted to the fact that Washington was playing scattered on their defense and trying to collapse on a single hero, finding a better rotation, a better angle of aggression. Right now, though, Guido on defense has Transcendence up, so should be able to save them if a Graviton comes in, as Prophet has been getting those Gravitons very quickly. 1 minute and 20 seconds between Gravs this map.
Yeah, he had it down to 1:09 on Numbani, but, I mean, Prophet, he's definitely a monster. There we go, up to the 80 energy. This guy now, he's really going to start hurting. You do not want to give him a chance to chime in, although this is ideal. Like you said, get that high ground. Let the Zarya just stand up here, chuck grenades in, but he's going to move with the rest of his team. Doesn't necessarily want to get cut off with them if they're changing positions. And now it's Washington playing very patiently. But again, need to be careful about the positioning here for Giannis. He does have both of his supports there to back him up, though.
London playing patiently as well. They want to get their ultimates online, and now it's just a matter of who blinks first on the point, who can execute these ults.
So the push comes in, Sensam getting topped up. Rally gets thrown in now by the grab as well here from Prophet. This is perhaps the chance. Trance is there from Guido and the sound barrier as well, but still they find the kill on Otto. Somehow, despite it all, the damage was too much for him to survive. And now the big ults here on the line from Washington. They're looking for the wombo combo. They're going to get the graph off. The Shatter doesn't connect, and Gesture will find the kill on Giannis. It's looking good for London. They've nearly got 2 ticks. They should be able to pick up the second here, although this delay is coming in. Fazik's going to go ahead and contest for a moment. 2 ticks picked up for London. Sound barrier thrown in by Nuss. And this is it now. London have got him in a stranglehold. The Justice are trying to just delay as much as possible, bleed as much time off the clock as possible here, as London continue to find the kills.
It's so difficult to come back in this situation on defense because of the sustained style of the 3-3. And it's just hard to find a target. You need to get 1 kill to come back. Now they're in full-on delay mode. You've got a Mei out there to delay. Not going to be enough. London will complete their second half of Horizon Lunar Colony.
Solid work. Better work that time around for London. You can see a bit of a smile this time. They know they did good work. They know they had their backs to the wall, and this time they were able to succeed. So a very quick take on that first point, and then not letting up on the second. Now it's on Washington to see in 20 seconds. We'll find out what they have in store for us. Be a real shock if they did change the strategy.
Well, now London's still playing for their lives here. Again, just to recap, it is 2-0 for the Washington Justice over returning champion Overwatch League 2018 season, London Spitfire. Can't say it enough. Gesture's going to get a big shatter here on the follow-through. And then I believe this is where that self-destruct comes off as well, and they lose.
They lost Addo.
Yeah, they lost Addo there as everyone just gets knocked around. They're using hammer displacement as well. But London, if they lose this map, they're 0-3 to begin the season. So you can't say it enough. Now they have a chance on defense to take us to a 4th map where they'll be playing for their lives, and then a 5th map where they'll be playing for their lives.
It just keeps on going. They've got a lot of work ahead of them here, London. See if they got a full tank of unleaded that'll take them places. Washington now, they've got to be feeling good about themselves. They've done great work so far. They're in the lead, 2-0. Countdown's about to go down, and we're going to be in offense here for Justice. Spitfire now on the defense, and once again, occupying the high ground. Curious to see if Washington are going to try and go for the juke again. I did like that the first time around on offense. You know, go out the door, make them think, and then try and wrap around on the low ground.
Well, I mean, you're going out in space. Might as well do a space balls and fool you.
Ooh. Reference game hard point.
Now let's see. They're rotating as a team, getting very cleaved down. This one might be actually legit. They might be going out. Yeah, they are. And they're waiting for the boost. Speed boost, back into it. No one's fooled.
No one is fooled. This time London are ready for it. Once again, Gesture with the positioning here to get the full cleave. He's nearly got a primal online already. Giannis, in the meantime, main tank for Washington Justice. He's at 17% and counting on his Shatter. He has had no chance to connect Hammer with Face so far, so he's going to be looking for it now. And now up onto the high ground here for Justice. Once again, sticking together. Fazik's just climbing, getting closer and closer to the sound barrier. Got to be careful, though. There might be going for a ride. Yudo's on the edge, and he's gone. Gesture with the kill. And the reset coming in now for the Justice.
That's what's so tough about the space aspect of this map, though, is that even resets take a really long time.
Yeah, it's painful.
The entire team resets there, meaning they don't want to die late with the rest of their team. They want to all die together so that they can come back together with a coordinated push. That burns some time off the clock. 2:45 for the Washington Justice take first point. Ultimate ability is about to come online, especially the supports for the Washington Justice, but it's been all London so far on this defense, so they're going to have a bit of an advantage.
And Gesture has been so great with the cleave. He's getting that ult online so quickly right now. Showing no fear, finding all the targets, really taking advantage of the fact that, well, his lightning gun just goes everywhere. And let's see, right into the mix. Once again, right into the middle. Gets the bubble. Just goes straight in for the fight. Yanis doesn't know which way to face. Finally, he gets pushed out. Only now, however, he's got his ultimate. There's the crab getting thrown up by Corey. Looking for the follow-up here. Guido going to go throw ahead the trance, trying to keep his teammates up. Yanis going to take him for a ride, but that's Fury. Wrong target. Doesn't go squish. And Washington, I mean, it's even. It's a 5v5 fight, but this favors Washington at this point with the rally going off from Otto. Now it's on London to come up with the goods.
He's trying to get the slam over the top so that he wouldn't get bashed, but it does all for naught as Guido falls. Giannis falls second, and this should be easy cleanup for the London Spitfire on the cusp of keeping their hopes alive.
Yeah, this is how it needs to go for London. 4 points for them on this map so far. If Justice can't find success on the first point, we will be going to a map 4. And London Spitfire, they'll have another chance to keep those hopes alive here. They're 0-2 in the standings for this first stage of the season.
This is why I really wanted to see Gesture early on Winston, because I think he works so well with Fury, alternating who's going to control the high ground and protect his team. Gesture will jump down, and then he does some damage. Meanwhile, Fury jumps up to protect, and then they alternate. It's kind of back and forth, hippity-hoppity.
Both of them very good at protecting. Not this time around. Yanis gets cut off. Otto is there as well. And Washington Justice, once again, having to give ground. 50 seconds on the clock now for the Justice.
Back to the drawing board. London Spitfire did use Rally during that fight, and one of the recent changes to that ability is the armor will deteriorate after 30 seconds. So around the 20-second marker of clock left on the map, Washington Justice won't have to deal with a fully armored London Spitfire.
Can't happen fast enough because Doshin is still in beast mode.
There it goes.
There it goes. Finally starts to take down. And Doshin now just has to rely on the shields. 84% on his trance for him. Prophet once again on the high ground. He's got the grab. He has to be careful of Sensam with that D-Matrix though. Doesn't want to take too many risks with his ultimate. That's a fight-ending ultimate.
He's trying to get him out of mech, or at least see the defense matrix used, and then know that the cooldown window will allow him to pop it in there.
Nice little bump there from Samsam. Just going to knock him off that high ground. Gesture decides it's time to go. Sound barrier's there to keep the Spitfire alive and coordinated. The trance gets thrown in by Guido as well. AoE healing. Prophet did find the grab, but there's no follow-up really, although Corey gets his grab eaten, and he dies as well. Self-destruct gets thrown in anyway. And somehow Justice are hanging in this fight. They need to find a kill, however, to turn it their way, and it's just not going to happen. Fury with the double. Yanis and Guido out of it. And the first point, it is not looking like it's going to go the Justice's way. It's going to be London Spitfire fighting back in this series. They finally win a map, Hex.
Keeping hope alive. The faces are lighting up now, and this is when London gets dangerous. When they get a little bit of taste of success, they can bring it back. We'll see how they perform on map form after the break.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
looks like London have finally managed to find their way. Hex, they've broken through the clouds. The sky is opening up, and they may be seeing the runway because they're still in this fight. They've got a map to their name now.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good from them. It wasn't even that close. They ended up pulling it off pretty well. They looked rock solid there, and I think a lot of it was because Gesture was able to play Winston and to beat that drum again. Our next map is going to be Rialto. And London should be very familiar with the fact you can play Winston and D.Va, and you can play a dive kind of 3-3 on this because they got held at their first against Philadelphia on this map. We're unable to really get across the bridge. Conversely, when the Washington Justice played this against the NYXL, they were able to get all the way to the second point, which is pretty good against the NYXL. So both these teams a little bit of history on this map, but just to lay it out there again, London 0-2 headed into the day. If they lose this match, they're 0-3, which no one would have expected, no one would have predicted to begin the 2019 Overwatch League season. Washington Justice, even if they end up losing at this scenario, I'm actually kind of pretty proud of them. These are good showings against some of the top teams in the league.
Exactly. They are really showing what they're capable of here. Do not underestimate them at this point. That's the impression you have to be walking away with. They are definitely bringing the pain. London Spitfire now on the offense. So let's see. Are they capable of figuring out that there is another side to the bridge?
A bridge too far. The story of the London Spitfire.
Oh, look at it. I mean, right now, Guard is all by his lonesome. Gesture's just going to go. They're actually just trying to circumvent the bridge. They're like, enough of this bridge stuff. Let's get over here. Fazix looking for the stylish boop. He doesn't quite manage it. Will survive. And now London, look at that, Hex. Look at that. They're on the other side of the bridge.
We'll see. They're able to get there just far, and we'll see if they win this fight. If they're ever able to get back to that position, or if they lose this fight, if they're able to get back to that position again. Washington's up top. Fury's looking for the scoop to knock him down. Needs to follow up the rest of his team.
He gets the scoop to loop and does manage to get him down to the low ground. And now the fight's a little bit mono and mono here. But as far as positioning is concerned, London now shouldn't be feeling too off. They still need to find a way to dislodge this.
But you always feel good as the offense if you can get the payload across the bridge, because now you don't really have to worry about the Lucio knocking you off the edge or any other sort of displacements putting you right into the drink.
Yeah, the spawn camp not really there. Although, I mean, it is possible. This payload, if Gesture leaves it at any point, it could start backing up towards that spawn.
Yeah, defense and offensive switch. And how many times are we going to look at Prophet just all alone on the high ground here, raining death from above, and Zarya almost graviton up. No deaths so far in this map. Both teams waiting for ultimates.
Yeah, ultimates coming online. I like the bit of tidbit info there at the bottom as well. Curious to see if London are going to get their second reverse here. They definitely need it. Sound barrier gets thrown in from Fazix. Tough to find the kill. Corey's fully charged as well, so he's going to be bringing so much hurt. London, though, they're just going to go ahead and group up together. Oh! Attempts the big play. That would have been sick. Instead, the grab goes into the wall, and nobody on London gets caught.
Still no deaths on either side of things, despite the bevy of ultimate abilities used. Still even dodging that, but it's not about who you kill, it's where you push that cart, and Prophet will open it up, taking down main tank Giannis on the other side of things. It should open things up for London, but they haven't needed the kills to get the progress.
First blood. Is that how it goes? You just gotta drop that now because
fair enough.
That's it. I don't have that bassy voice though, sadly. But the self-destruct is gonna go ahead and change things up here. Both Rhines, the only guys who have died for their teams, and now Washington, they've got Giannis back up alive again, so he's gonna be here. And London Spitfire have to back off. They didn't quite manage to pick up the first point either.
Okay, really nice awareness there too, that they were able to see Fury sneak to the backside, maybe looking for a flank, but then they did see it. They sent Otto over there saying, I see you, Fury, and they just fully reset and back off. Rialto's a map all about holding corners. First corner is that one right there, second corner is to the left, and then when you get to second point, there's another corner, it's a lot corner. It's a very angular map, a lot of 90-degree turns.
Very sharp, unnatural, put it that way.
Yeah, you'd think built around a meandering river, you'd have less angles.
No, you know.
Humans and their architecture, man. I don't know.
Silly. Look at this. Gesture. Once again, they're going to go ahead and try and get this cart to the first point. 40 seconds on the clock for London. Whole bunch of ults to work with. Now or never. They got to get it across the line here. Some decent defense getting put up by Washington, though. Sensam got to get focused. He's got to get brought back up here by his teammates, and it looks like they'll manage. He's going to get topped up again. Nuss has got the sound barrier online, so from his perspective now, he's just waiting for one of the big ults to come out, although That would be greedy. It would be outrageous, but he could dart forward and try and go for the boop.
I was going to just place him a little bit, and that Shatter goes under the cart. Grab's going to hold everybody onto it. Still a brawl here, but it is the London Spitfire picking up the first 2 kills. That's 2 tanks out of it. A 6v4 should be a situation they win every single time. They throw Grab in for good measure, do just that. And though it's contested, it won't be for long. Into the drink, and London Spitfire clean it up.
There we go. First point picked up. A whole whopping 2.5 minutes added to the clock here for London. So now they've got a bit of room to work with. Payload's going to be making its way forward.
I mean, it seems like a long time, but you have to go up to the right, down to the right again. So 2.5 minutes is not the longest amount of time to get to the second point here on Rialto.
I feel like we're playing a game of Snake. You know, it's just going to keep like all around here on the big map.
I just see Tetris blocks, man.
There you go. There you go. All those angles, Hex, that's right. All the angles. Let's see if the Justice have figured out an angle here to work with. So now they're kind of divided up. Not the end of the world, though. Corey's in position to get the bubble on his teammates. And so, yep, sure enough, going to be getting that energy rolling. Ult's getting chucked in, left, right, and center. Guard just swinging away, and he will help to find the kill on Giannis. All 3 supports piling in on that Reinhardt. Now, the big kill's starting to come through here for London. This is a fight that's going their way.
I love that London switched gears there. They were playing so slow and reactive, but there they initiate with a sound barrier. Jump in, speed boost, let's go. Now, if you watched any Overwatch League 2018, you might think of Lucio as a healer. But in the 2019 Overwatch League season, he's done 30% more of his speed aura. He's mostly used for his ability to get tanks into position quickly so that they can do damage. He's got the 2 abilities to either heal or make you faster. This year, it's all about gotta go fast.
He's just got to be hoping he's going to get those 5-star ratings. You know, just give him the high ratings.
He gets 5 stars from me as long as he doesn't talk to me.
There you go. Done. And into it. And there it is. The boop off. And they do manage to cut a couple of the support out on Washington's side. Clever play there from Fazix, trying to throw a wrench in things here for London. London, however, going to regroup. And now it's going to be the big fight. Corey has got the grab online. Not a whole lot of energy yet for him, though. And now it's just that staring match. Who is going to lose? And the big question is there. There's the Shatter. Grab right in. Point blank. Grabs a bunch. No follow-up, though. Although the self-destruct does go off, the shields are up for London. They will survive it, and they are going to make some real progress. Great boop there thrown in by Fazix to buy a little bit of time, but that will cost him his life. And Washington doesn't look like they will manage to hold here. It's a potential 3rd point on the board here for London.
A superior Transcendence timing from the London Spitfire. You saw them all locked into the small room, but the Transcendence came up. They got too close to the ball, which they had just gotten together and lost some heroes. And then Transcendence faded in the other side as they were still in the Graviton surge for Washington Justice. Lost a couple heroes on the post under that.
Preemptive rally goes through from Guard. There's the Shatter. Guard, however, will survive. Sound barrier thrown in as well here on London's side. And the Shatter to follow. Giannis gets laid out for a nap, and Sam's going to have to go and shop for a new mech. And there's no way you're going to survive this. London Spitfire powering through. 58 seconds on the clock, and it's looking like London will be able to pick up this 3rd point. Otto's going to get run over, and they will find success. London fighting back. 3 points to their name.
About as one-sided as that could be. 23 eliminations to 2. London Spitfire in control of Rialto. See if they can close it out.
And there we have it. London finding success. Seems like they're finally finding their groove here. On the 4th map, they succeed with their offense. They pick up 3 points. And it's Washington now who are kind of starting to get to that point now. Do they have their backs to the wall? Do they have the confidence necessary to get the job done, Hex?
They should have the confidence. They played NYXL pretty good on this map before, but I think it's not just London finding their groove here and there. I think the support play was much stronger there, and I really like that one moment around second where they just decided to turn the speed up. Let's initiate with sound barrier. Let's not be reactive. Let's be unpredictable for a change. Perhaps London's kind of fallen into a rut of we're trying to figure out 3-3 still a little bit, so they're doing the same thing, but I've always liked teams, and especially London, when they're just aggressive. Just guys, have some confidence. Let's take a fight. Take a fight, see what happens, and they won that one.
How much do the tickets cost to your motivational speeches, Hex? That was a good one. I think it's money well spent.
I got nothing for you, Semler.
You gotta throw a book at it, you know?
Sometimes you just break my brain, bro.
When does the book get released?
Being the best you.
Turns out, being the best you by Robert Kirkbride. Let's get into it. London now on the defense, and they have elected to hold a bit more passively. Washington going to make quite a bit of progress right out the gates, only to grind to a halt here at the choke. Well, never mind. Let's boost it. And there you go, Lucio. What he serves for is just to power through and try and get his teammates into the fight as quickly as possible. Sometimes that means you're just running your Reinhardt headfirst into a wall, though.
Tries to dump Corey off the edge. Not quite there.
Yeah. There we go. Nice delay kill on Phasix. So that'll slow things down here for the Justice. London Spitfire will manage to hold at first. So full minute has been bled off the clock for Washington. And now London, they just need to keep doing the same. Stay patient. Nuss, once again, he's been watching some big Goose plays. You know, he's been watching some of the Goose trying to go for the knocks on.
Every Lucio goes for it on this map. So be aware in your ranked games, especially if someone's got an Overwatch League skin, that Lucio's coming after you on the bridge of Rialto.
Now they've traded places. No, London, you were pushing the cart last time. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now they back off, and it's Washington looking to make some progress here. Prophet, once again, high energy, buzzing. And he's got the grab. Just waiting for it. He knows the opening is there. As the D-Matrix goes down, going to get the ult in, but the trance is there from Guido, just topping his teammates right back up again. Rally gets thrown in by guard, and so we will have London holding for now. Both of these teams playing that economy game.
Prophet's been over 60% charge, I feel, this entire series. And Corey, who's been playing pretty well, averaging around 50%. That's just how well Prophet's doing on the Zarya. Meanwhile, main tank wars go Janus' favor.
Oh, buddy, now we're going to get some kills going through here for the Washington Justice. Haddo did have to commit the rally into it, but they still have 4 ultimates online. So, seems like they were able to come out ahead in these fights.
Now it's a matter of stalling out until everyone else can get back, but it does seem like the Lucio taxi or Lucio lift going to bring everybody back into it.
Fury does manage to get back over here with the rest of his team. Janus knocked off course. Unfortunate for him. He was looking for the pin. He's going to get the sound barrier. He has no idea what's going on now. It's out and out chaos, but they still get 2, and the self-destruct to follow as well. That's got to be on Phasix there with the boop into the drink.
Boop, self-destruct. That horn you hear means the entirety of the London Spitfire are dead. And what is normally regarded as a defensive map has been anything but thus far.
Yeah, with these big beef combos, does look like, yeah, he was able to just knock him off the side. Nice work there.
I believe that's a lot of credit to Janus. You see them playing horizontally when they're knocked off, means that the Earth Shatter hit them. Pretty easy to knock down stun targets. A well-coordinated attack, getting a big value play out of their ultimates.
And now they're going to look to follow it up as well. Shatters, everything getting thrown in here from London, who are desperate to put a halt to the progress for Washington Justice. Prophet with the grab, not going to catch anybody. Washington just powering forward, keeping that pressure on. And it's looking like Sensem will eventually get found. Prophet able to get the baby diva.
They're going to try to back up now, just wait and regroup. They don't want to lose anybody late. It seems like they should be in position to get this retreat just fine. Going to eat some damage, but that just means that their support ultimate should come online as everyone will get healed up. Back to the drawing board with 2.5 minutes remaining on the Washington, D.C. offense.
So they still had time, though. They had more time than London when they pick up the second, or the first point, rather. So they still have a lot of room to work with here going into the second.
Well, they have to finish the map, otherwise we're going to a map number 5, which would be fitting for how this series has gone.
That's true. I mean, it gives a chance for London, to get their second reverse sweep. Everything's still on the line here for London. They can ill afford to lose this map in terms of stage progress and just in terms of reputation. I mean, come on. You got some pride here, London. You're the defending champs. Get into the fight. Nope. He says no. Gesture is deciding to be patient. Fine.
Giannis' last second block. Onto the shatter from the other side. They're going to get some push here. He gets a couple knocked down. Can he find it? Gets the charge. Giannis all alone in the back end. Going to pick up his own.
Oh, sick
Mess.
work from Giannis. Manages to get 2. That was a monster shatter, and nobody was there to protect him.
It's so tricky to be regarded as a Reinhardt player because if that charge misses or he gets knocked off course, people are like, oh, what a fool playing so aggressive. However, he knocks down both supports, gets 1 on the charge, gets 1 on the fire strike. You're like, Giannis, what a god!
It is funny how that works, Hex, you know. But
Razor's Edge.
it's the Razor's Edge, and he is dancing on it. London Spitfire now are the ones who are looking to go ahead and chop him in half. Sound barrier is getting thrown in. The support ult's not going to be enough, though. The focus fire too good, and Phasix is out of it. And it's looking like Washington might have to back off yet again. Janice is, going to go ahead and fully commit. Just charges into the back line. Man's on a mission right now.
He's trying to create a little space for his team, trying to buy a distraction. Otherwise, they were all going to get cleaned up there. So it ends up being a martyr kind of play, but totally fine. Nuss was trying to get behind the rest of the team and start knocking them forward, and not quite the full-on cleanup, but now London with the aggressive forward hold.
Well, there's the wrap. Washington looking for another angle to work with. 2 minutes on the clock for them. They got to be careful not to get knocked off the side, though. Oh! Counter boom! Get out of here, Nuss! Phasix 1 step ahead. And now that sets them up here. Washington, can they get in and take advantage of these kills?
Oh, what a great play there. They were playing with fire. As aggressive as Nuss has been, they baited him into it. He goes for it, and Phasix right there to punish him. Fighting fire with fire. London Spitfire still a lot of ultimates to work with. This one's all about execution. The Justice are going to have their big ults online as well. Guido has to stay alive. He's got to stay alive so his other supports can get their ultimates. But now trapped in a corner, trapped in a grab.
And they will get the stun. Guard is there to take advantage of it. Minute on the clock, though, for Washington. They still got a couple fights in them. They don't need to get too stressed out. London are trying to push them as far back as possible. Gesture really going to throw it in. This could be big.
Smart play.
Cutting off 2 and getting the Diva demeched as well is going to just further waste time here for Washington.
It was already a little ambitious to say they had a couple fights left in them with going how long you could just walk back to the cart anyway. However, they didn't waste anything there. Now, they are going to have less time in their bank regardless of what happens here. So 52 seconds to 40. But if they do finish, should get a reset on the clocks.
Indeed, it will go back and forth. Rally through, speed boost as well. These guys are zipping all over the place now. Giannis looking for the charge, cancels it out against Gesture, and the focus fire too good along with the Discord Orb. No way for him to survive the pressure. In London Spitfire right now, they are looking so good, Hex, to take this to a map 5 and redeem themselves.
I don't even know if they're going to be able to get there. They're going to have to take a really strange angle here and put themselves in harm's way just to be able to try to go touch the cart.
And yep, sure enough, Guido chucked in for a bath. Giannis picked off next. They're not going to make it in time, and we will be going to map 5. London Spitfire search for redemption, and they're getting that much closer. Tied it up 2-2. And now it's a question of whether Washington Justice can deny the reverse sweep or if they can get the job done on map 5. Welcome back from the break, everybody, and this is it. London going into this, everybody's questioning their ability to get the job done and actually find wins. They're off to a terrible start this season with 2 losses already.
They're off to a terrible start this series. They were down 0-2 to begin, and we thought it was pretty much over. They were showing no signs of life. And then, that's a weird thing about this Spitfire team. When they think it's all over, they start playing really well. Again, I harken back to the playoffs of our inaugural season last year. They thought they were coming in, and that it was like, hey guys, it's been a good season, we're going to go home. Oh, and then they accidentally won. This team is so much better when they're loose, when they're aggressive, when they don't have anything to play for. And then they continue their run. It's such an interesting team to watch.
You got players like that, teams like that in the past, other games as well. And it's just like, how do you get them to just flip that switch? Start having that confidence, from game 1. Don't wait until game 3 to start playing and wake up and start having fun. But you're right, they are chuckling now. They doubled the kills on that last map on Rialto. So it really was London getting the shutdown at the end. Justice are the ones now who are the ones struggling, not quite figuring out how to just win decisively.
But you saw some of that looseness in their playstyle on Rialto specifically. And now I mentioned the speed boost and the sound barrier to get into it. But even that gesture really late shatter. Right? There's 2 people trying to retreat. Instead of holding it for the next fight, he knocks down 2, picks up the kills, and now that's a kind of a fight reset right there. They get the Baby Diva out, they stall it out, but that's something I think he might have held on to in map 1. Just play passive, just don't play, don't mess it up. He's like, whatever, I'm getting shatters up, I'm throwing people down, and I think it's just a different kind of London we've seen in the last 2 maps.
He's finally starting to take control. That's kind of what you want to see from the main tank. Get the job done, gesture. You got the confidence. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the Zaryas performed as well. I mean, they're tanks, but they're damaged. I mean, you got damage dealers playing them, and that's Prophet, that's Corey, and well, I mean, it still is the Prophet show. He's so beast.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you put him on. Look at the ultimates charge. He's getting 10 average time to ult. I mean, 20 seconds doesn't seem like the biggest difference in the real world, but in the Overwatch universe, that's an eternity there. His average energy has been very good. This was just on Rialto because his average energy throughout the day has been above 60, while there's times Corey has dipped below that. But final blows and just damage done. 7,000 more. Is that 33% more? I don't want to do the math, but it was 50%. I don't know how percentages work. I didn't even get through 4th grade. Fractions.
You're a great writer. No, that's the thing. You can write numbers.
I'm more of a humanities guy than a numbers guy. That's for certain.
One thing to point out in terms of those stats that you guys just saw as well, that same time played on both of those heroes. It's not like Prophet had more time or anything like that. You got to keep that in mind. Those guys were playing the same hero the entire way through. And so we will have a sub coming through. Looks like Phasix is going to get put on the bench.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to bring in a sub this late. And I thought Phasix was having himself a pretty good game, too.
So that's interesting.
But it's interesting because we are going to our 5th map, which is Control. And a lot of teams have very specific strategies for Control. Maybe it's a more flexible player. I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to Nepal to figure this one out. You and I think we've done 4 games already. 3 of them have gone to map 5. Now we're 4 out of 5. So if you like to see bonus Overwatch, tune into our broadcast. We always seem to get there.
Yeah, buddy. And already kicking it off. You got the BBE right there in the foreground. The big brass elephant. And then you've also got the Murder Chasm. So still working out what the third map on this map would be. What's the nickname, Hex? We gotta work on that.
It's just a village.
We got a whole year. It's just a village. It's just like, what could possibly be interesting about a village? You got some thatch, you got some wood, maybe there's a chicken running around.
I've moved from Wisconsin to big cities, so villages don't interest me very much, son. All right, let's get into it, though. We are going to start on Sanctum, which is one of those outlier stages in the Control map type of sets. 2 of the maps feel kind of similar, and then one has something just a little bit different where you see different strats. Now, this is another map you have to be careful of Lucio's on, because there is a whole lot of zero ground. You've got high ground, you've got low ground. This map has zero ground, means you don't want to get knocked off into it.
Yeah, it's a chasm, and it's waiting for you, and it's murderous. And Gesture, he doesn't care. He's just going to go looking for the angle. Right on through. Focus Fire is not there, though. This is going to be like the slowest fight ever. 2 Winstons trying to tase each other. But hey, looks like we will get one. Nuss is already laid out.
Yeah, they brought Phasix out of the game, but I think it might be the case where you've just got a specialist. Maybe Hyunwoo was a specialist for this kind of. Maybe it's just Nepal. Like, he's just the guy they bring in for Nepal. You never really know for sure in these kind of situations. Maybe they have a specific strategy for when they get to, one of the other stages, but it's all luck here. But That's a great opening game for the Washington Justice. Again, London Spitfire to begin this day. We're 0-2. Now fighting for their life on map 5 to stay alive in the first stage playoffs. Don't want to go down 0-3. Washington Justice, win-win either way for me. I'm impressed.
Yes, that is the thing. Washington Justice, they're not the ones with anything to lose. They're the expansion team that's coming into it, right? They're still getting their feet under them. London are the ones right now who have got their honor on the line, their reputation. And, well, there you go. Once again, Prophet into the chasm he goes. Gesture, it's a bit harder to do that with him. He's got the jetpack. He's going to be able to leap out of safety. But now it's going to be nuts. They're just going to be trading back and forth. We just need to throw an Orisa in here now. You know, just get all the Yanks, all the Boogs, maybe a Roadhog. Let's just get into the vintage.
Well, that's been the Lucio show thus far, and this is why you see him going back, and it might seem counterintuitive, but he needs his whole team there, so he's going to go back. We talked about the importance of his speed boost utility. He used to call it the Lucio Taxi. It still is that. Bring him back up to it. I just don't know if our audience knows what taxis are anymore.
They don't. Yeah, exactly. It's an Uber. It's a Lyft. I mean, I'm sure there's other options as well, but there you have it. Gesture. I mean, just the thought of LA traffic gets him mad, and he's looking to punch somebody in the face. Doesn't really manage, though. And there it is. Right into the mix. Trying to cut him in half. Not quite finding it. In the meantime, Giannis is out of the fight, so this is going to really slow things down here for Washington. They got to feel good about things, though, because they're at 75% and counting on this point. Still trading back and forth. But it will be the flip, and London Spitfire are now the ones in control.
Finally able to bring that one back at 78%. And that's a tough one for Washington because they did commit a lot of their resources into that. You see no check marks on the board. Guido should be able to get there, but that's it. That's the list of ultimates available on the other side of things. Nasa and Bedosian both have ultimates up. Fury going to have self-destruct, so I think Washington Justice is in a position to try to force out ultimates and not use any of their own and fight again. Call that an eco push or a junk rush. Pretty much you want to reset your economy, get back in shape, because by the books, you really shouldn't win this one unless something strange happens.
Yeah, something goes wrong for London, and they're seeming like a much tighter team now. Great focus here onto Giannis, really trying to apply the pressure, but Guido's going to go ahead and throw the trance out in this fight, keeping his teammates up, and Fury, the boosters come online right in time to save him.
Calculated.
Calculated, all calculated. So hard to catch a diva off guard when let's see, self-destruct right in. Oh, just a little bit too far. Bubble is up for Corey as well, but they're still finding kills, and the Justice will not find success this time around. It will be London just ejecting them out.
It's the slow roll, but they got some ultimates out, not quite enough though. However, now they should have at least something to work with. It will be around 80% when we have our next main engagement. So this next fight should pretty much decide the first stage. At 80%, that's the threshold for one more fight will win you a stage of control map.
And there's the angle again, once again. Washington really sticking together as 6. Trying to form the death ball. And it's London who are kind of divided up a little bit. You know, back line kind of keeping their distance. And there it is, mid-air, grab straight onto Gesture. Do they get the punish? Yes, they do. There's the big kill for Justice. Managing to drop that Winston. Gesture is out of the fight. Wow, just throwing the sound barrier in here. Washington showing no fear. They need to win this fight decisively, and it's looking like they will do that. They get the flip. And now it's on London. Well, they do manage to get the punish on Giannis.
Another Primal Rage being thrown away. Both of these Primal Rages went off on positions where they could not receive any support for their teams. Perhaps a little bit too big for their britches there.
Brig for their
Briggs on the brain here. I can't really help it. I gotta say the name a lot. Transcendence on the point. Now, last fight up. Fury's gonna throw an Desperation Bomb. Desperation finds pay dirt. Corey and Guido down. That might just do it for London.
I approve, Hex. I approve. Fury really coming up with the goods in the end. Will not get a trade of his own on that self-destruct. And so, just when it was looking up for Washington, London will succeed in flipping the point. Washington are so far away. Unlikely that they'll make it back in time. They're trying to run it through, but it's not going to happen. And London will take it in the end. 100-99. And now 1 point away from redeeming themselves. We'll have a break, and when we come back, we'll find out if they are capable of taking it the win. Welcome back from the break. London Spitfire, this is it, the moment. Can they get it done here on this second point of Nepal? We're going into the village.
Yeah, we do need a name for it.
We do need a name. That village is so lackluster. You got the BBE, you got the murder chasm. We'll get here. We'll get there.
Clash of the Titans up top as both teams exchanging a lot of damage. Corey very low, discorded, gets an orb from his own Zenyatta, going to stay alive, but Washington has to relinquish control of the high ground. They get out without losing anything so far. They're just going to rotate and stay on to the point. And even though everyone got very close to death, they're able to stay alive and stabilize.
And for now, it is just going to turn into the staring match, although some good focus fire coming through. Sansam has run the risk of getting overwhelmed. Even just goes for more, and he will pay the price that time. And there it is, perfectly timed grab, and get out of the village. London Spitfire, perfect execution, and a team kill for them.
Both divas attempted the same thing. You saw Fury dive in and scoop people around and disrupt, and then he got out with about 200 HP. The other side of things, Sansam not so lucky. And the moment he was demeched was the moment that grab launched in. You know that there's no possibility for it to be taken away by the defense matrix, and a full clean kill for the London Spitfire.
Just coming right back into this, though. Going with the preemptive rally, just making everybody beefier, more armor. And Giannis just kind of hopping around. It doesn't look like, yes, it looks like he saved it. Managed to block that shatter. Gesture going for the big play. Not going to happen. But now it's the standoff again, trading ults back and forth. Corey's got a grab online. It's a question of whether he can get it to work. And yes, he hides it behind the wall. Where's the follow-up? Self-destruct, but nobody dies for London. Too many ults in play for them with the sound barrier there. It keeps him up, and Prophet's going to go ahead and show him how it's done.
Counterplay again from Prophet. Leads the server in eliminations. Leads the server in final blows at 20 and 8 respectively. I mean, people are going to get sick of us talking about Prophet, but what else do you talk about? He's been so consistent. He's been the best part of this team, and they've looked a little bit different since they've swapped him in on the Zarya.
Turns out money makes the world go round. And Prophet, he's just raking it in right now. He's raking it in, living up to his name. He's the one who's keeping his team in this fight.
Paying dividends, if you will. Gesture is going to have Earthshatter up for the next fight, and Washington Justice has to find a miracle here. They're going to have Earthshatter. They should have Rally to support it as well. Guido gets dangerously low. They have to back off. We'll see if Giannis can come in big.
Earthshatter, not going to happen. Get out. There it is. There's the follow-up that they were looking for. Washington, it's going to pay off in the end, and it will be a full clean. London, yeah, they managed to wipe the grins off their faces. They were looking a little too chuckly over there.
I'd have to go back and really look closely, but I think Gesture got stunned out of his shatter attempt. He did get the signal above his head, and then the counter shatter from Giannis came in huge. That, in the industry, folks, is what we call a fatty shatty.
Done. Perfect coin. And we're using it from now on. They're going to be hunting for it now. As well, still a little bit of work to go here for Giannis, but let's see. Back into the fight. Back into the game of tippy-tappy toes. And, well, he's going to get pinned in the corner. And yet again, there's the grab. But it's not going to save anybody. Giannis is dead, but they do get the DMAC on Fury. So traded 1 for 1. Back and forth now as Guard is going to commit the rally here, keeping his team up. But the sound barrier was down for Washington, canceling each other out. Ocean gets the snipe. And this is definitely looking solid here for London. They're keeping it together. They just have too many support ults online.
Able to sustain through this. Maybe some early support usage from Hyun Woo right there. And it does look like London, barring a miracle, will take the second stage. Thus the tiebreaker, thus the map, thus the series.
Oh, never mind the timing. Otto, he just wanted to ruin it for you, Hex. He just wanted to ruin it for you. It was so clean.
And my boy Otto.
It's now over. They have done it. London will run it back and win 3 maps in a row to take the victory.